welcome back to my channel. So it has been forever since the last time I filmed. I honestly couldn't tell you the last time that I actually sat down and talked to my camera. It is very strange, but I'm really excited to be filming something. So just a quick note from me editing Cece. Hello. This is like a month after I filmed it. First of all, I apologize for how I look in this editing clip. I'm very greasy. It's like 1 a.m. right now. I'm just trying to edit this video. I just wanted to apologize quickly for how long this took to come out. If you guys saw the community tab on my YouTube page, my new laptop actually didn't have an SD card reader. So I had to, it was a whole thing. Anyway, I have one now. I'm working on editing this. Hopefully it'll be up soon. I also have another video film that'll be up soon as well, so thank you guys for your patience with that. But anyway, like I said, it's been quite a long time since I made a video on this channel, so I thought that it would be good for me to do a bit of an update. I know that this is primarily a cosplay channel. I do have a lot of personal life updates that I need to talk about. I'm going to be saving those for the end because I know a lot of you guys aren't here for that. You're just here for the cosplay stuff, which is totally fine. So if you want to hear any of my like personal shit that's been going on, you can stick around till the end. But in the beginning here, I'm going to be talking about, I know it's a little bit late for this, but I'm going to be talking about my cosplay goals from last year and what happened with those. If you guys remember, I did a video at the beginning of 2019 about like my cosplay resolutions and like what I wanted to do. And then I'm going to be doing a bit of an update after that for what I have planned for this year, including the cosplays I'm going to be working on and the cons I'm going to and all of that. I also just recently got my septum pierced like a week or two ago, so I'm really sorry if the jewelry is crooked in this video. I'm trying not to mess with it too much since it is healing. Okay, so I'm trying to remember offhand what my goals were last year. I have the video pulled up on my phone right now, but I don't want to spend like the whole time just like watching it. I don't have them written down either. I'm pretty sure one of the goals I talked about was wanting to compete last year. I think I said I wanted to compete twice. I did not end up competing at all last year actually, so that one is a 0, no points there. I had been planning to compete at Icon in Winnipeg with Lexi. We've been working on some Umbreon and Espeon designs for quite some time now. I say this like in every video that I've been filming for the past couple of years, but I'm really active on Instagram. And all of my whip photos and videos for that are all on my Instagram highlights. It's the same handle, Fairy Kisu. So if you guys are interested in that costume, I have my whole process documented on Instagram. I'm not going to be uploading anything to YouTube for that most likely. But it is all available on my Instagram. Anyway, so we had planned to do these last July, and then we just ended up, the costumes were a lot more work than I think we had anticipated. When you look at the designs, they're by a Taiga-kun. I mean, they're not simple, but they don't seem awful. And then when you actually start making them, like the more you look at it, the more details that there are, and you just keep noticing more and more details like as you look at it more. So I actually think I got like 50-something% done before Icon. So we did end up wearing them to the con, we just didn't compete because they were nowhere near done. And then I also was thinking about competing, I believe, with Amaterasu at Daisho. I have not made any progress on that costume. I ended up not liking the direction that I took with some of the silk work that I was doing on that. So the wig is done entirely, and I had some of the costume done, but I'm pretty much going to be starting over on the sewing portion of it. I think I even need to go back and do a different pattern before I get new fabric and recut, because I just wasn't happy with how the pattern was laying, and I also wasn't happy with how I did some of the techniques on there. I think I'm actually going to do silk painting. I originally had done applique, but I think I'm going to do silk painting instead because I think it will give me the softer look that I want. So that one also didn't end up happening. I also only went to DaishoCon for one single day last year and I didn't cosplay at all. So yeah, things just ended up not panning out. This year I may or may not compete. I'm not really making any solid plans right now. Also because like a lot of my con plans are pretty up in the air, but skipping around in that old video again, I think my second goal was to work on a complex wig last year, which like I said I did. I finished my wig for Amaterasu last year. It honestly, like when you look at it, it doesn't look too crazy, but there's about 20 hours of styling that went into it, so It was a ponytail base wig. I ended up doing like a half updo, so half of the hair is down, half of it is up in a ponytail. I added a whole bunch of extra wefts. I actually rooted the wig also, which is when you go through and color in the roots of the wig a little bit darker to give a more natural look, which takes super long time. And yeah, the whole process of putting up the wig into the ponytail is also just very tedious. Then I stubbed the wig and I attached a really long ponytail extension to that, which the tip of that was also dyed black. It's a white wig dyed black at the very end, so there was a lot that went into that one, and I'm really happy with how it looks. I believe I also talked about wanting to do finishing techniques more instead of serging. I think everything I made last year, aside from like me and Lexi made some like stupid rave costumes that like weren't real costumes. Everything I made was lined instead of serging, so that was pretty good. I will count that one as done also because I hardly used my serger last year actually. For my last goal, I actually did not do a prop build last year. There is a prop that's a part of my Umbreon costume. She just has like this big broomstick, but I pretty much did nothing for that last year. I ended up not getting to it. It is still like sitting in the basement waiting for me to get to it. All I did really, I got a big stick and I shaved all the bark off of it, but I didn't start like the actual bristles. I didn't really start any of the finishing on that, so I'm not counting that as something that I did last year because I hardly touched it. For this year, I don't really have any goals that are too specific. The first thing I would like to do is I really would like to finish my Umbreon costume. I've been working on it for almost a year now, pretty solidly, and I am very close to being done with it, so I'm excited for that to be done. And then this is kind of broad, it's not really a goal, but this year I just would really like to do more in the cosplay department. Last year I really only did like, I think 2 or 3 costumes, 3, and 2 of them were like not really difficult or creative in any way. Like one of them, like I said, was a rave costume. One of them was a Vocaloid costume, but it was pretty much like a hoodie and pants. And then Umbreon I did, which did take up quite a lot of time. A lot of the reasons I don't do cosplay as much is pretty much just because of money. Hopefully that will be changing soon. We're going to be talking about that at the end of the video, like I said, with my personal updates. But yeah, hopefully I will have a little bit more money this year and then I can buy all the supplies and wigs and circle lenses and makeup and everything that I need to do cosplays. So this year for Cosplay Plans, I don't have too much that's like really solidly planned, but I have a lot of ideas for stuff that I want to do and things that I have already started. So again, like I said, finishing Umbreon is like probably my top priority. As of right now, it is March 6th today when I'm filming this. And all I really have left is the broom, the gloves, and then a little bit of resin work left with like some of the charms that need to get domed. And then attached to the costume. I need to like cut the bangs of the wig and like a couple other finishing things, but that is how close I am. The gloves are kind of difficult because there is applique all over them, and the fabric I'm using is not stretched, so I'm gonna have to be using a glove pattern that has gussets in it, which like not gonna go into what that means, but if you know, you know. Basically the gloves are gonna be a bit of an endeavor. I'm not very comfortable with them, which is why I have not started them yet. But hopefully I will be able to do that soon and finish that costume. Just recently, if you guys again are following me on Instagram, you will probably know I just started on a Stalking cosplay from Panty and Stalking. Me and my friend Bree are doing Panty and Stalking angel versions. We don't really have like a specific con picked out that we want to wear these at. We're just kind of making them and then we'll see what happens. It started out as a simple project, and as we like went fabric shopping and started talking about stuff, we kind of went off the deep end, and now they're a lot more complicated than originally planned, but I'm so excited. As I mentioned, I would also like to revisit my Amaterasu cosplay. Hopefully that will happen this year. I'm not really sure. I've kind of needed to take a break from that costume, even though I haven't worked on it in about a year now, but I love it a lot, but it is testing me. I've also thrown around the idea of doing an Ultimate Madoka cosplay, or like Goddess Madoka, whatever you want to call that outfit thing. I really love Madoka Magica. It's one of my favorite animes, probably my second favorite, and Madoka's design in that form is so pretty. There's only a handful of people that do this design in the first place, and out of those people, I think a lot of them, they don't have the skirt shape that I like, or that I would like to see, which is again another thing that I considered while I was making my regular Madoka cosplay a couple years ago. When you see those costumes that are bought from the store, the skirts are just so sad and floppy, and I just can't stand by anymore and let that happen. So I would really like to tackle that because the skirts are wild. They are insane. I kind of want to put lights in it. We'll see what happens if I get to it, but I really want to do that this year as well. This is gonna be like a big magical girl year for me, apparently. My friend Bree, a lot of these are with Bree, I'm just noticing. My friend Bree recently did a lettuce cosplay from Tokyo Mew Mew at Katsucon recently, but the design that she did was kind of like a fancy like Sakizo style inspired. So if you guys know, I have a Tokyo Mew Mew costume already. I cosplayed Mint a few years ago, but that is like the regular version of Mint, and I don't think that it would look right sitting next to her lettuce costume, so I'm also thinking about doing either an Ichigo or another Mint costume that are fancier that could go with her lettuce. That's pretty up in the air. We haven't really discussed much about that yet, but that's also something that's kind of on my radar. And then Bree and I have also talked about doing more fancy Madoka stuff. So back in 2018 when I made my Madoka, the fancy one, she was the coordinator of that group that was supposed to happen. She is the Mami Tomoe that was in the group. There are photos of us on my Instagram that you guys can look at if you want. She's the only person from the group that actually also made her costume. Madoka is Bree's favorite anime, so we were recently talking about doing more of the girls and trying to get an actual group together. Specifically, we were talking about me doing Kyoko and her doing Sayaka. I think I could probably get my partner to wear my Madoka costume because he's a good boy. And then one of my roommates had talked about wanting to do Mami, and then I think we could convince our friend Lexi to do Homura. So if we did, we would have a whole group and it'd be really cool. Again, that one's also pretty up in the air because right now Bree and I are focusing on Panty and Stalking, but those have been discussed, so possibly. As for cons, I have no fucking idea. Again, my financial situation has been really up in the air for the past couple years since I moved out of the dorms. I've been in college and I have been paying my own bills. Like our rent is pretty expensive, and then like all my other bills and stuff that come with that, groceries, gas, everything. So while I've been able to do that, it has been difficult to afford like cosplay stuff because obviously like eating is a little bit more important than being able to buy a $50 wig. But things are starting to settle a little bit, so I'm not really sure when things will settle or what the rest of my year will look like basically. Right now, I have not much solidly planned. I did just go to Amkey this year. We ended up going for Friday night and then most of Saturday unintentionally. That's another story for another day. Again, didn't cosplay there. I just went with my partner and my roommate and it was super fun, mostly, except for some things. We'll talk about that later. I swear, Amkey is cursed for me. Again, that's another video though. And then I also have No Brand Con this year. Again, I'm a staffer for No Brand. I run the cosplay contest, so that's April 17th through the 19th this year, so I will be there, but again, I'll be working, so I'm not like attending the con. I pretty much just have to do staff stuff all weekend, so like I don't get to do any like convention stuff mostly. Hardly get to sleep. We had discussed going to Anime Iowa this year. I think that ended up getting dropped. I was supposed to be part of a cosplay group for that con, but stuff ended up not panning out. I couldn't afford to do the cosplays, and then a bunch of stuff happened. Everything's still good. Still friends with all those people and everything. I think we're just going to be pushing that back for a little while. I don't think I'm really allowed to say what we were planning for that. There's 4 of us in the group. 2 of them are pretty high-ranking masters in the Midwest community, and I know one of them has been doing a lot of wild stuff. She's very talented, and anyway, I'm just not sure what I'm allowed to say about that group because there's a lot that's going to be going into it. It is my friend Cassie's like dream skit TM, so we're gonna leave that, but that'll happen eventually, just probably not this year at Anime Iowa. I don't even think we're going to Iowa anymore. Me and the Daikons have also talked about going to KitsuneCon. First it was conflicting with Anime Iowa because I was definitely gonna go to Anime Iowa, but now I'm not, so I'm not really sure if we're going to Kitsune or what. I'm not sure. I have no idea. I know last year one of my friends went to Chizucon in Madison. One of our friends who's a photographer, Fluffy Fox Photography, is running that convention. I believe she's the founder of it. She started it last year. I didn't end up going, but I might go this year just because, like, I'm from Madison. I could just crash with my parents, and I really love Fluffy, so I would like to support her and check out the con in its second year. But again, like, that's really up in the air. I have no idea what's going to be happening with that. The only thing I have solidly planned is DaishoCon. I go every single year. This year is going to be year 8. This is my 8th year at DaishoCon. We don't have like hotels booked or anything yet, but it's March, so like whatever. This year I'd really like to go for the full weekend. I could possibly be convinced into competing. I feel like their competition has gotten a little bit better over the past years. I had some problems with it for a while. I think last year was pretty okay, so maybe, but again, not really sure because it's March right now, so like I have no idea. But that is what I have for cosplay updates, convention updates, goals, all of that. So if you guys were just here for cosplay stuff, that is all I have for you. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. But if you're here for personal things, I have more for you. Okay, I think the last time that I talked to you guys was in that 2019 New Year's resolution video. Let me check. I also did that wig video. It says it was 9 months ago. I did a video about wig stuff. So yeah, it has been almost a year since I talked to you guys. I don't even think I brought anything personal into that wig video because it was like a cosplay corner video, so it was, I believe, scripted. I have no script of any kind for this video, so that's fun. So the first major thing is this year, this like school year 2019 into 2020 was my 4th year of college, and this semester I actually decided to drop out. And I know that like that might seem really wild to you guys. I have switched majors 3 or 4 times in my college career. I've also transferred universities, so even though I'm a senior this year, I really had, like, even including this semester, if I would have stayed in, I had over a year of school left, and like that's fine, but because of a lot of different reasons, I just wasn't feeling motivated anymore. I felt like it was pointless. There's a lot of reasons. I'm not really going to go into it because a lot of it's really personal to me. Just know that like this is something that I thought about for a really long time. So yeah, I did end up dropping out. I had the meeting just recently to get rid of all my classes for the semester. Yeah, so I'm no longer in university. That might change later if I decide like I've had enough of breakout and I want to go back and finish stuff. I think I'm pretty close to being able to have an associate's degree. I think there's only 1 or 2 things I would need to take in order to qualify for that, but right now I just really needed to take a break from school because it was killing me. Basically what that means is now I'm looking for a full-time job. I still work at Target. I've worked there for 2 years now. Things have been changing in the company and not really in a good way. Per our social media agreement thing, I am required to tell you that like I work at Target, but this is my opinion and not the opinion of the company. Anyway, recently, over the past couple years, they have been steadily increasing our minimum wage at Target, which has been nice and great because I make $13 an hour as a cashier. However, this minimum wage increase in the company has resulted in hours being cut for pretty much everybody. I know almost nobody that is full-time anymore, and there's people that have been working at Target for their whole lives, you know? Like, unless you're a team lead and you're part of the management team, you really aren't getting full-time hours. So that also means that pretty much nobody has benefits anymore either. Now, I am 21, almost 22 years old. I am still on my parents' insurance, but pretty shortly, in just a couple years, I'm not going to be legally allowed to be on their insurance anymore, and I'm going to have my own. So it's important to me to find a job that will give me benefits, including like health insurance and dental insurance. It also would be very nice to have a job that has consistent hours because like working in retail, it's just all over the place. I never know like when I'm gonna get scheduled and stuff. So yeah, so currently there's some stuff in the works there. Hopefully I will be able to have like a real adult person job soon, which will definitely help my financial situation like I was talking about earlier. I'll be able to work on my debt, I'll be able to pay my bills, I'll be able to maybe buy cosplay stuff, so that would be wonderful. Just another quick small thing from editing CC. I actually was recently offered a which is really exciting. So today is the April 22nd. It's a Wednesday. It's 1 a.m. So, you know. But I was just offered a job on Friday, so I put in my 2 weeks at Target, which felt really great. Super exciting, loved it, 10 out of 10. I don't really want to say too much about this job just because like I would like some level of privacy. Like before I was working for a huge corporation and like I was facing the public a lot, but the job I'm going to be having is an office job, working for a lot smaller of a company, and dealing with a lot more like private things. Anyway, I just don't really want to share too much about it, but I'm really excited. I'm going to be getting a little bit of a pay raise. Target pays $13 an hour. Right now we are getting hazard pay for $15, but even with that hazard pay, I'm still getting a little bit of a raise on top of that. It's guaranteed full-time, benefits, vacation hours, I get sick hours, they add up. It's pretty much a 9 to 5, which is really exciting for me. I've mentioned it a couple times in this video, but I also recently started seeing somebody. So for a really long time, I was dating this guy named Dalton. We were together for 5 years. We broke up last spring, so 2019, somewhere in the spring. It wasn't awful, like we're still friends, like pretty good friends actually. It just wasn't really working out anymore. And then last summer I ended up meeting somebody else, and he's been really great. His name is Ruben. It's just been really wonderful. So I'm sure at some point you guys will see him around. We haven't been together for like too insanely long, but like he is really great, and I intend on having him in my life for a very long time. I think you guys will also really like him. Like I said, he's been coming with me to conventions and stuff, and it's just been really awesome. So yeah. I think the last big thing that I need to update you guys on is I'm moving. This was pretty unexpected. There's a whole lot of backstory that goes into why this move is happening. A lot of it isn't really for public information. It's not like anything insane. We had, I don't want to say a situation, but we kind of had a situation with one of our roommates. So essentially the very short and like public appropriate semi-neutral story is one of our roommates is no longer living here. She's not dead, promise, like she's fine. She's not living here anymore, and Maddie and I can't afford to like keep this place with just the two of us, so we are moving, I believe in June is when our new lease starts. We're also going to be moving in with Lexi, so I'm super excited about that. It's going to be the three of us. We have rented a 4-bedroom house, so it's not a duplex. I currently live in a duplex, like we share a wall with neighbors, but this place is just a freestanding house. We have the whole thing. Like I said, 4 bedrooms. One of the bedrooms is really tiny, so we're going to put Maddie's rats in there. And then there's also like a formal dining room, which we're going to be turning into a sewing room. There's also an unfinished basement. There's a ton of weird storage and stuff. It's like kind of an old house, but like it's like really nice. And it's a little bit cheaper than the place that we're in now. So again, that will also help with my finances. The situation is a bit unfortunate. Maybe after like things are a bit settled down, it might be something that I'm able to talk about on YouTube, or just in social media in general. But right now I don't think it's appropriate for me to share. But yeah, that whole thing has been a lot, which is part of why I've been absent on social media also, is just because it's taken a really big mental toll on me. But yeah, so you guys will probably see a new house tour coming sometime this year, towards the end of the year. Again, we move in June, and then it's going to take a while to get everything set up and settled. I do really like this place and I like my room a lot, but the energy in this house is just like, not to sound like a hippie, I'm a witch and like a weird hippie, but like not to sound like one. Anyway, the energy in this house is like not great. Like it's really icky now, and no amount of like cleansing this house is gonna get rid of that. So I'm really excited to move and get some new energy in my life because I need it. Okay, I think that is all that I have for you guys. Thank you guys so much again for your continued support. It means so much to me. I still continue to get subscribers and comments on my videos and everything, and it makes me really happy to know that you guys still watch my content even when I'm not around much. Like I keep saying, I'm really active on Instagram, so if you guys want more from me, please feel free to follow me on there. I always post stuff on my story all the time for like cosplay work in progress pictures. I post all my final cosplay pictures on there so you guys can see photo shoot pictures. And my inbox is always open on there as well if you guys need to talk about anything or have any questions for me. I would like to try to do a little bit more with YouTube this year. I sometimes get in these bursts where I just really want to film, like that's why I'm doing this today. So hopefully I will have that more often now that I'm not in school anymore and not dying all the time. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!